Welcome to Crafts and Minis. This is week 4 of my hashtag hobby streak. Each day on Twitter, I post just a picture of a work in progress of something I'm working on with the hashtag hobby streak. And I've finished 28 days, which feels awesome. And here's the progress from the latest week. So I did this big group of bugbears. These are all Reaper sculpts, which I really like, except I wanted to switch around their weapons. And so each one of these bugbears has a different weapon. Some of these swords are from the Ogre Kingdoms box set from Games Workshop. Like that hooked fist is from there too. The axes are actually from the Minotaur box set of Games Workshop. And then I gave the leader a big old axe that has a rune on it and some shoulder pads to set him apart. But I really like these sculpts and they turned out pretty well. I'm pleased with them. But I didn't stop there. I also did this lot of farmers from the Lionheart board game. I know Caleb over at Blandco has done a video about that particular model even, the farmer, and those were just quick paint jobs to get them on the table, but you can never have too many guys with pitchforks. Up front here are two of my favorite models of all time. It's Father Andrew on the left and Father Josh on the right. They're from the board game Myth, formerly of Megacon Games. Those are the guys who put it all together, and I know it's being transitioned over to another company right now. And what's so cool about these are put in their Kickstarter and sent to me and my buddy because they're actually based on us. I'm the guy on the left, my buddy's the guy on the right, and I put a little extra time in here. What's also cool about these two guys is that Michael Mordor, the Goblin King, on his Patreon has encouraged all those who follow him on Patreon to take up a challenge of painting at least 2 models a week. And if you follow my channel, you know I'm doing that. So that's awesome. But I took up the challenge myself just to keep myself accountable. And these were the first 2 models as part of that weekly challenge. So each week you're going to be seeing with my hobby streak the 2 models that I chose to put into those challenges. I also did this guy from Hero Quest with the purple, kind of reminiscent of Skeletor. Now, this is a great classic sculpt. It actually had like a bigger part on its head, like this circular headdress thing that I chopped off because I have multiple of these models and I wanted this one to be a little unique. But you can see the face is not the best, and this is an example of over priming. So if you prime with a spray can and you hold it too long on a particular model at a particular spot, it can get really thick, and that's what happened here. And I just tried to work with what I got, and it ended up being okay. But it's fine for what it is, but meaning it's fine for just a quick table piece to throw out there of a guy who needs to get his hands up for whatever reason. But obviously on a classic sculpt like that from the board game Hero Quest, I'd rather it turn out a little bit better. This ogre is pretty interesting. Mr. Purple Pants. I put him next to the guy with purple hands and purple tunic on there. So he is actually the base model. The body is from the board game Myth, like this big orc. And then I switched out its weapons, and I gave it a head from Ogre Kingdoms from Games Workshop, and put that shield as like a huge belt buckle. And he turned out really cool. I figured like in a story of an encounter, they could work together because they're color coordinated, which always helps on the table. This is just a gator guy from Reaper, large size, super quick paint job. He was in the pile. He is now done. I did some more ogres from Ogre Kingdoms from Games Workshop, and I'm pretty pleased with these. The 3 in the back all have a sword and then like a armored fist. combination, and then this guy has two swords, and then he actually has knives all the way around him, and he has a little unique head. That's something when you're using these models that you can assemble, you can do little conversions or give them little character by making certain things stand out. Like this guy with the knives, you know, he didn't listen when he was told he'd poke his eye out when he played with too many knives, and he did. So now he has a weird knife thing and likes to collect them all like Pokemon. But I thought they turned out really well. I was happy I got a variety of the skin tones on these guys, which I was really pleased with. And then these I'm really tickled about. So these ogres, again, Ogre Kingdoms, but I got some bits on eBay for the crossbows that they have in the GW sets when they're riding the huge mammoths. And I wanted ogres with big old crossbows. And I was toying with, like, in a game, I could count them as, like, ballistas, and it would totally work. So I'm really pleased with those guys, too. I think I have bits to make another couple of those, which is going to turn out really nice, hopefully. But I wanted to give you this update. Expect them every week. If I'm sticking to my hobby streak, which I plan to do, then you should be able to see this every week, the progress being made. This week I didn't have the total number of models as some weeks, but these were a little more involved. The ogres and the bugbears took me a little bit more time. And then, like I said, on Father Andrew and Father Joshua, I wanted to spend just a little extra time, which if you saw these in person, you could be able to tell. It's a little difficult to tell when it's mostly black clothing on a figure. But thank you so much for checking in. Thank you for all the support and the likes and the subscribes. And whenever this is shared online, I just get tickled. It's so cool to be part of this community. I just want to be a source of encouragement to all those who are trying to get after their hobby, and just letting you know that I'm right in the trenches with you. All right, thanks for checking in this week. Hobby Streak, week 4. Go get after your hobby.